of the bell right now. Bang! Want to welcome everyone to Global Markets Radio Daily Recap. I'm your host, Andrew Spanton. Put up that mic a little bit. Monday, July the 16th, 2012, 4 p.m. Eastern. What a day. What a day. Lots to talk about. What a day. S&P 500. You look at the hourly chart. Won't go down. It didn't go up. It didn't go up, but it's certainly looking like it wants to hold. And you see this whole big channel developing. And remember that 1390 spot. And as you go higher, you get to 1395. And believe me, I'm a bear. I think that there are headwinds we're going to talk about today. Holy crap. There are big headwinds in this economy. Geopolitical, macroeconomic, the whole kitchen caboodle. Now, I think there's a shot of heroin coming. And with short interest has not been this high since I think May 2011. Decent amount of time. Might be longer. And the short's got to get squeezed. The big hand, well, they're going to stick it out. But boy, this 1390 looks like the market just wants to get there. Now, obviously, if we take out certain levels, I think I'll run for the hills. We get under this 1340, 1335, then it's not going to look very pretty. But when you look at this, the S&P certainly broke this downtrend, and now we're looking to push higher. And, we sort of had some decent news out of Spain. Lots of different cuts. They're selling government buildings, reforming pension. Moody's, I think, liked it, said it was credit positive. And there is a Spanish bond auction coming up later this week. So there's definitely some positives. I thought that Germany postponing that vote in the court system over there a couple of months, terrible. Just kicking the can down the road. But you could say, hey, we have no bad news then for Germany not backing the bailout till September. So that could be a good thing. Now you look at the daily chart in the S&P. Remember, we were looking at the hourly. And, you make case for, hanging man. Certainly make case for a hanging man. And certainly if we do not take out 1365 to the upside, we could easily come in. But once again, still looking at that 1390 spot. Remember that, that was from our hourly. So now we have daily confirmation. A ton of shorts in the market. And it just says short squeeze to me. And when you look down the road of the economic events, there's some good stuff. Bernanke might deliver. With the retail sales number that came out today out of the U.S., you would think, for sure. I mean, that number was horrible. Mas horrible. When you take a look at the S&P, sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. Damn it. I promise I won't have a cigarette. You got shorts. Some bad earnings out of the way. You got GE coming up on Friday. If anything could reverse the market to the upside or downside, it'd be GE talking about Asia. But hey, maybe they say good things going forward. Chinese certainly. Shanghai down big. Market didn't like what they said. Long-term growth prospects yet to materialize. But I just think that means they're going to do more stimulus. But you look at this S&P, yeah, it looks a little toppy, but I just think there's two good news that could come out. Not enough bad news. I think the bad news, we're setting ourselves up. Absolutely. The bad news I mean, when you look at what's going on in the world, and again, of course, no one's going to really talk that much about it. I mean, the U.S. Navy today shot out of the water one of those speedboats. Now, I'm sure it's not connected to the Iranians per se. I'm sure it is connected in some way, but it's certainly not the Iranian flag hoisted on its bow. But it's certainly funded somehow through the, comms brigade, whatever the hell you want to call it. But still, they're testing the United States. They're testing Barack Hussein Obama, the president of this country, the one I live in, and I'm a proud citizen of. And he's failing miserably, dividing the country. What he did, making out people that are entrepreneurs didn't do it by themselves, that the roads that the factories were on, that the American taxpayer paid for, helped them in their business. Holy crap! I mean, you can't make this stuff up. What about the taxes this company paid? What about all the employees that this factory employs that pay taxes, that build the road? It's almost like chicken before the egg. What about the improvements the factories are made on? You make on the factories? What about the property taxes if you own the factory? This guy is so out of touch with reality, it's not even funny. With all the money that Romney has, with all the smart people around him, it is mind-blowing to me how these guys aren't going on the offensive and taking him to task for his own words. I mean, Obama keeps digging his own graves, it seems like. Why would you say he's doing that? I would say class warfare. I would say the average person, uneducated, non-college educated person, would believe this stupidity coming out of the president's mouth. Right? It's a bloody joke. I'm not saying that having the roads, certainly getting a tax break maybe to build a factory there, and then they build the roads. You work with government. That's what government's there for. But who comes up with the ideas? Entrepreneurs. Who builds the blueprints? Who takes the risk capital to create the blueprints for the factory? The private investor. Certainly, maybe if he elected Obama, then sure, he's going to get a nice big fat contract that's going to pay for everything. Tax breaks up the gazoo, handouts, bailouts, and everything. Just give to Obama. Wait until that scandal hits. So I'm sorry to go off on a rant, but I just thought it was incredible. So you have a U.S. president that's completely trying to divide the country between the haves and the have-nots. Create class warfare when this was not what the United States was founded on. Wild, Wild West, baby. Entrepreneurialism is what made this country. And to kill it is un-American. It just shows you don't have any clue what America's all about. I'm done. Dollar index, nice reversal here. It looks like it's coming in more. Again, I think if we get to that 1390 on the S&P, isn't it mind-blowing? I mean, I know some of you listen to me for a long time, but it just is incredible, is it not? Am I nuts? How could people believe it? Are they really that dumb? Founding fathers said they were. So 8250 certainly is a big spot.
Stop.
Sorry. And then, really 82. But this to me looks like a big head and shoulders. And we got to test this neckline somewhere around 81. And that would mean, obviously, the euro to the moon. I'm trying hard to keep it together, people. I'm trying. But dollar index certainly looks like it should go lower. Could we back and fill a little bit? I mean, sure. Look, the dollar index has come a long way. 73 to 84. That's a huge move. It's almost 12, 13%. Come on. So I think that the dollar index could have a little breather. Back and fill, even 80 would be healthy. And then make a run, an assault on that 86. So, again, I think July, we have more choppy trading. We're going to probably rally, I think, try and break to the upside, test that 1390, and that's when you got to back the truck up. That's when you really got to back the truck up. And let me tell you this, euro held. It's having the craziest moves for no reason on no news. And to me, that's like almost the bottom. You know, someone's trying to test the market, and it keeps, and remember, we're summer trading. So a yard or two could certainly move the euro pretty well, 50, 60 pips. So I think we're starting to see the thinness in summer trading. A lot of traders not willing to take, especially making new lows, but it did help. It held. And we look at some of the numbers. You know, Spain, some of the things they're doing, certainly not bad. I mean, certainly we got German zoo tonight. I don't see German zoo being good at all. But with CPI coming in, being in line, ECB can easily cut more. And I just think really it's more about the decent news out of Spain. That certainly I think is what got the euro, going. But again, some of the things out there just are horrible. North Korea, General Kim Jong-un's biggest insider general, buddy, sacked. Houston, you have a North Korean problem. All crap. Just imagine between Syria and then also North Korea having their own revolution. Holy crap. Genocide. Holy crap. That wouldn't be good. And again, with drought, even in Iran has drought. So this is not a U.S. World, an America's problem. This drought is really becoming a global problem. Something that might have been predicted if I remember correctly. One of them. And I'll tell you, tensions are high in the Straits of Hormuz. Are you kidding? In the Med? I mean, that captain did not want to shoot that boat. But he had no choice. And they were testing to see how far they can get in. They have 1,000 to 5,000 of these. All swarming. They're going to hit one. Euro yen looks to me like it may have reversed. Outside candle. I like it. I think with the U.S. numbers being weak, more QE3 possibility. That's why we had a weaker dollar yen. Absolutely. I think you look at the euro reversed across the board. Euro Canada, nice reversal. Oh, baby. Still more to go in this. Even though this Canadian rate decision, I got to tell you, I think he's going to be more on the neutral to hawkish side. I think this dollar Canada could easily get down to par 50. Measure the move, we're going down to 99.50. But you get an S&P that breaks out, you get a Bank of Canada that's more saying, hey, as soon as things turn around, we're raising rates. Because remember, before this all happened, the European turmoil, market thought Bank of Canada was going to start raising rates, which was nuts. But still, their economy still is doing very well. And if things do turn around, they will raise rates. So I think any talk about taking away stimulus, not as necessary, boom. First one to raise rates is going to be Looney Tune land. Dollar Swiss, nice reversal. Oh, baby. Wasn't looking good, was it? But it held. Closing below previous day lows, it looks gorgeous. Again, head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, neckline, and you build the right shoulder. Or you go to the moon on S&P meltdown, and you break out to the upside. Head and shoulders are not guaranteed they go break the neckline. If anything, it's more 60-40, but hey, you're going to get momentum either way. That's what you can be assured. So you break to the upside, you got to go with it, especially if the stock market's melting down. I thought you had a lot of, Euro Kiwi bottoming out. And that Spanish news, Euro Sterling bottoming out. There's your hammer. Euro yen, outside candle. So I think it's worth it for these plays. You want to turn around Tuesday? Tomorrow? Sure. I can see that. Bernanke's the key. Is he going to deliver? Now remember, you got King. Speaking also, Mervyn King out of London. I would imagine he's not going to be the most at all hawkish. He's a very big dove. He thinks we're on the verge of a global depression. So King talking could easily get the S&Ps down, but hopes of more, quantitative easing from the MPC. But still, that should hit the pound. And it should help euro sterling, which should help the euro across the board. And the stallion yen certainly looks like when it had this channel line here. Oh, come on. Big week this week. Big. I think we get down to like 78.40, 78.35. You got to look to buy that channel. I don't think it's going to melt down. And listen, the Empire manufacturing number was not so bad. Yes, retail sales were terrible. Absolutely horrendous. But still. We did dollar Swiss. Again, dollar Swiss easy. 97, 96, 90. Easy. We should get nice follow-through. If you took the pain, you don't want to get out now. Listen, could it be a quadruple top? Maybe. But not the way it's closing. And the S&P came back. I thought the dollar certainly was very much weaker. Could be on the retail sales, I guess. But we really got weaker, and I think the euro looks good. Cable coming up to a monster resistance spot here. I'll tell you, London Olympics. You talk about a flashpoint. I mean, so there are so many freaking things that could go wrong in this world all at the same time. That's what's nuts. I mean, Syria is in the worst it's been yet. Chemical weapons, they're out. We're tracking them. Israel's doing chemical weapon mock training exercises. I mean, unbelievable. And then you have North Korea. You have Russia. And then you have talk about 10 to 40,000 Iranians in Latin America. You must read this story. They do it through the embassies. Very smart. Very smart. Anyway, cable. I know. I digress. But I just, you write some of these things down, and there's so many freaking things that could blow up. And look who's president of the United States. And if you don't think this election is going to go down to the wire and be contested, can you imagine that? Oh, may you live in interesting times. Sterling dollar. We break through here, we're going higher. Obviously. I think we probably do stall. Euro sterling is the key. I think it's due for a big bounce. So I think if cable breaks out to the upside, I think it's a nice short on a fade. But I think the longs I like on pound Kiwi, trying to break higher. My only problem is, again, stock market. I like this thing when the stock market's going down. So, you got a CPI number coming out of New Zealand tonight. I would think this number is going to be more on the low side. But I think food prices also have been skyrocketing. And remember, lamb, eggs, sheep, slaughter, wool. So, this food price, I think CPI is going to be all skewed because of food and energy. Oil coming in. U.S. side also. Oil coming in. Food prices going up. It's like you get hit. All right, so I just got better in the oil for my gas for my car, but now I'm getting hit in the grocery store. And who's that worse for? The worst people, because the people that don't own cars. They're the poorest. Now you're really hitting them. Good job. Kiwi looks good. New closing high. I do think the Australian minutes are going to be also on the dovish side, and I think you buy it on that. Again, I think we'll get a little pullback tonight, but I think, remember, Australia's been cutting rates. They did nothing the last time, but still, these minutes represent periods of time where things really were not looking very good. Only in the last week or so are people starting to say, well, numbers aren't that bad. We see a little light at the end of the tunnel. So I think that that is really more the key. Expectations going forward. Pound Aussie, same thing. But if the stock market's going up, which I do think the market's going to be relatively on the strong side, I can't get that bearish yet. I mean, yeah, listen, we closed below 1320. Say goodnight. But sometimes, timing is everything. Wait for your price. And I just think this market's too freaking strong. The plunge protection team, PPT, freaking Geithner, they want to squeeze the shorts, the weak hands, so they're going to rip this freaking market. Only the hedge funds with lots of capital are going to be hanging in there, selling more to the weak hands, losing their money in options, but they're expiring, right? Timing is everything. Let it come to you. So to me, selling the S&P down the whole at 1330, I can't do it. I'd rather get my bounce. And if you do get the bounce, and we do get it right, in my opinion, we should have something like this. You say flash crash? I mean, this is what's coming. I am fully convinced in the next month or two we are getting a black swan move like this. 100%. 2 months. Guaranteed. Who wants to bet me? Email me. Oh, it's coming. Maybe it's going to be this. Hey, I'll take that. It's about what? 140, 150 S&P points. That's not enough, but that was this year. Remember, each one comes a big percentage each year. That was the mini. That was nothing. The sell-off was nothing. Measure the move, and that's where we're going. And that's 1150. Maybe even 1100. So, the question is obviously, timing is everything. You can't just stay short when the market's going higher. Got to do something. Hedge, right? So we'll see. But again, big night ahead. You always got to watch for headline risk. Again, lots of things, as I said, out there. But by and large, you should have Asia be a little weak on the weak data coming out of New Zealand and Australia. And then maybe things start turning around on some other good news from Spain. Maybe King talks things maybe better. Maybe the German zoo is, who knows? But I think Bernanke at the end of the day saves the day. He gives you a little nugget. I think Bernanke's going to deliver a nugget. Not necessarily QE3, but maybe a hint. Maybe something to look for. If this, then that. And we get then. And if, specifically. Anyway, sorry for the long deal. I actually took notes today before the show, so I thought I'd try and do a better job for you. Lots of stuff. Oh, baby, we're going up. Euro to the moon. Andrew Spanton, info, globalfxllc.com. Voice of Forex everywhere, people. The only voice you'll ever need. Truly loves to make you money. Have a good night.